Hey everybody, in this lesson we'll be just looking at how to determine the present value of an investment involving compound interest. So for question 5 from exercise 804, Paul wants to invest some money so that it will grow to $24,000 in 5 years' time when he will travel through Europe. If the interest rate is 5.5% per annum, what present value should Paul invest to nearest cent? So our formula goes like this: A is equal to P bracket 1 plus R to the power of N. However, I did speak of another way to write this formula, which is FV for future value. That represents the total amount at the end of this investment, equals to P, which is our principal, but also written as present value, brackets 1 plus R to the power of N. Okay? Now let's have a look at this fine detail in the question. We've got an amount that it will grow to, which is 24,000. That is the future value, right here. In 5 years' time, which is our N value here, and the interest rate over here. So that interest rate is 5.5% per annum. Okay. So if I then substitute all those things in and try to find out what PV is, okay, according to the question, so what present value should Paul invest to nearest cent to get this amount? Well, FV is 24,000 equals PV, which we don't know, brackets 1 plus R, which is 5.5%. That's the same thing as 0.055 raised to the power of 5. Okay? Then what we're going to do is divide both of these sides by this bracket here. So if we just divide this over to the other side, we will get 24,000 over 1 plus 0.055. I guess you can also write down, instead of this, 1.055 to the power of 5. And that's equal to the present value. So reverse what it says there. So keep PV on the left and type in what you've got there. And you will get PV, the present value, equal to 18,363.224. And I guess one checking process is also to recognize that this value has to be lower than this value here, because this has to start with this value to grow to that value. If you're getting any more than that, that's wrong. And again, with anything to do with financial maths, it's good to round this to decimal places. I'm going to write my squiggly equal sign. So right, it's approximately equal to 18,363 and 22 cents. There we go. Let's have a look at one more question to do with this. Question 11. So for question 11, after 8 years, the value of Karina's investment grew to this amount. What was the initial amount of Karina's investment if the interest rate was that percent per annum? So you can be flexible between those two formulas that I've written before. Because this doesn't really say anything to do with present value, I'm just going to write A is equal to P bracket 1 plus R to the power of N. You're allowed to do that. It grew to this amount. That's the final amount that it would be at. So that would be my A value. So I'm going to replace A by $6,260.14. The present value, which is also what you call the initial amount or the principal, is P in this case. So we don't know that. And then 1 plus R, our rate in this case is 8.75% per annum. If you divided it by 100, you get 0.0875 right there. And we raise this to the power of N. So N representing the number of years, that is the power of 8. Okay? So again, if we divide both sides by this bracket here, that will obviously disappear. And that will be over this. Okay, so I'm going to write that down. So 6,260.14 over 1 plus 0.0875 to the power of 8 would equal to P. Okay, so I've divided it over. Now I can write P equals to, and type that all in. Okay, just making sure that you're very careful typing all this in. Okay, so I got 3199.999. I'm just going to write three numbers and then round it to two decimal places. And you'll notice that because it ends with 999 like that, okay, the third number being 9 would round this number up to the next number, okay, and then this would round this up to the next number, and so forth. So if you keep having all these 9s round each other off, okay, it's going to round each other 9 off until it's going to be the next number. So finally, we get to a number here where that's not 9, so that'll be 3200.00. Okay, or you can just write 3200 really. Okay, and that should be right. So that's how much they have to start with in order to grow to this particular amount there.